Hello, I'm Michael Liu on another episode of Culture Mosaic on VTV International. In the next 30 minutes, we'll soak up in the various art genres and lifestyles. For example, the art of using lacquer, creating magical layers of colours. And later on, we'll have a chance to meet with artists from Opera Australia who just had their debut show in Vietnam, performing Puccini's classic opera La Boheme, and more to come. But first, here are the headlines. Lacquer, magical layers of colour. Australian singers enthrall Hanoi audience. And in connecting cultures, social media promote Vietnamese cuisine. As usual, local news comes first to bring you a recap of the most vibrant cultural events taking place over the last week. Traditional rituals were held at the Hung King's Temple historical site in the northern province of Phu Thọ on Tuesday for the nation's legendary founder Lạc Long Quân and to pay tribute to the mother Oka. The provincial leaders offered incense, flowers and offerings. Phu Thọ province has preserved the Hung King's Temple site, making it a spiritual destination for people nationwide. Vietnamese legend has it that Lạc Long Quân married Oka and they gave birth to a sack containing 100 eggs from which 100 children were born. Their first children then became Hung Kings, who according to the story founded the first Vietnamese nation. The National Tourism Year 2016 was officially launched on April 10th with the theme Exploring the South in Phu Quoc Island, Kiên Giang Province. The opening ceremony was a national arts performance which attracted many famous artists and celebrated the uniqueness of the Mekong Delta region. The National Tourism Year 2016 includes 65 events throughout the year, with emphasis on promoting tourism in Phu Quoc Island and the Mekong Delta. Phu Quoc Island of Vietnam is known for its white sand beaches and palm-lined coast that still bears untouched beauty. Over the last few years, the island has gained popularity and become a favourite destination for international and local tourists. The Echo from Nature Arts exhibition opened at the Vietnam Fine Arts Museum on April 10th with more than 30 pieces of artwork of 31 artists from Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Myanmar, Japan and Singapore. Let's take a closer look at these artworks in the following.
Japanese artist Katsumi Mukai has presented 2 groups of works including 8 wooden sculptures and 16 paintings in pencil in his first exhibition in Vietnam. The natural scenery of Vietnam provided new inspiration, Mukai claimed.
I often return to the studio and then redrew sketches according to my memory of the landscape I have visited. I will continue to draw the things and places that I saw in Vietnam as elements of my work.
Vietnamese artists contribute 14 pieces, including in mediums such as lacquer, varnishes and cut paper that express their unique personalities.
Tôi vẽ theo một cái không gian ảo và nó nằm ở trên một cái ngọn núi ở trong tâm tưởng chứ không phải là ngọn núi có thật. Nhưng mà tôi muốn truyền tải là cái sự cảm nhận về cái sự yên tĩnh trong một cái buổi sớm mùa đông.
With a theme and style of varied expressions, the international exhibition has attracted the attention of art lovers as well as professionals.
Trông qua hình họa hay là cái sử dụng màu sắc hay là bố cục thì rõ ràng họ là những người có nghề và họ cũng làm việc cũng nghiêm túc. Về cái đó là một cái thành công. Cái thứ hai là cũng là con người nhưng cái góc nhìn nó khác nhau. Cái sâu hơn của cái bề mặt của cái tranh là nói về một vấn đề mà buộc chúng ta phải suy ngẫm.
Khi mà xây dựng cái ý tưởng chung cho cái triển lãm này thì chúng tôi vẫn lấy cái đề tài thiên nhiên. Và tất nhiên là thiên nhiên ở đây thì chúng cũng không phải là cái việc là đi ra ngoài phản ánh trực tiếp hình ảnh của tự nhiên mà là thể hiện được cái tình yêu thiên nhiên.
Asia Art Link is the host of this year's art exhibition. It was founded in 2005 and consists of a group of Asian painters. Every year, the group organizes camps and exhibitions in many countries. The artist will add about 30 artworks to display at Huế, along with exhibition in Hanoi.
The film crew of Kong Skull Island released a behind-the-scenes video recently at MTV Movie Awards ceremony. Vietnam audiences can easily recognize the familiar landscapes chosen as the backdrop for the film. The film features Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston and Corey Hawkins. The stars shared their experiences about the filmmaking process. The video also featured some key scenes from the film. The art of lacquer appeared in Vietnam long ago with various layers of colours and techniques. Each lacquer artwork gives the impression of three-dimensional space created through the skillful hands of artisans and painters. In this week's edition of Culture and Lifestyle, let's find out more about the art.
Cái vẻ đẹp riêng, nó sâu rồi nó đầm thắm.
They look absolutely beautiful.
Sốt ruột là không làm được.
Đòi hỏi kỹ thuật rất là cao.
Lacquer was first used as people wanted to keep their wooden household items from cracking or being damaged by the weather. Then artisans began to use it as a material to decorate with. The process of making a lacquer product is complicated and includes various steps. The first and one of the most important steps is making the board. A smooth board helps the lacquer to stick more firmly to its surface, ensuring its durability and shininess.
Khi mài là mình phải dùng giấy giáp, thứ nhất là đúng với phù hợp với cái nước vóc đấy, và mài cần độ phẳng.
Công đoạn để làm ra cái nền vóc đó thì phải trải qua khoảng độ 30 nước sơn thì người ta sẽ có được mỗi một nước sơn lại một nước mài. Kỹ thuật thì người ta coi trọng là làm sao cho cái nền vóc nó tốt, nó bền và nó đẹp, nó phẳng nhẵn, thì đấy là cái đòi hỏi kỹ thuật rất là cao.
After rubbing the board, an artisan needs to follow other steps, such as attaching cotton cloth onto both sides of the board or coating the board with a mixture of alluvium and lacquer. To an experienced artisan, only by hearing the sound of the brush touching the board can he know whether it has reached a proper thickness. The next step is to cover the board with lacquer and rub it. This step takes a long time because the artisan has to do it several times. As every time the lacquer is rubbed, the artists have, whether intentionally or not, created a magical layer of color. Even to get a simple product like this, the artisan has to cover it with lacquer and rub it for 12 times. And each layer of lacquer must cover the whole surface of the product to ensure the durability and also the smoothness. Besides the complicated techniques and process, materials also contribute to adding more artistic value to lacquer artworks. The most important material is lacquer. Although there are many types of imported and industrial lacquers to choose from, Vietnamese traditional lacquer is preferred due to its advantages.
Sơn ta thì nó là chiết xuất từ cây sơn ở trên Phú Thọ, và nó rất là tốt, độ bền nó rất là cao.
Sơn ta nó có ưu điểm là nó mềm, mài nó không bị dai. Sơn điều nó cứng, mài nó không đẹp. Và khi lên bóng sơn ta thì hoặc là khi toát bằng sơn ta thì nó âm, mà nó có độ sâu hơn sơn điều.
Nó có cái độ gắn kết rất là cao, cho nên người ta có thể gắn lên nó chai, vỏ trứng, vỏ ốc, rồi vàng bạc, rồi thậm chí cả tre nứa, thậm chí cả các cái nguyên liệu khác.
Artisans and painters combine various types of material to create unique and beautiful artworks.
Nguyên liệu vàng bạc nó cũng là một trong những cái nguyên liệu mà tạo ra một cái vẻ đẹp riêng của sơn mài, bởi vì nó có những cái ánh kim bên trong, rồi nó sẽ tạo ra cái sự lấp lánh ở bên trong, rồi tạo ra những cái hiệu ứng về thị giác rất là tốt.
Lacquer is applied in different fields, from household items and decorations to painting. No matter what it is, each lacquer product shows a sophisticated, classical and dimensional beauty. Therefore, it has attracted many people.
They look absolutely beautiful, and I was interested to read about where the lacquer tradition started, and I think it looks very decorative and very professional and really tasteful, very nice. I like it a lot.
Trong dòng tranh sơn mài này thì nó cầu kỳ hơn, nó mất công hơn, mà nó có một số cái mà không phải ai cũng làm sơn mài được, bởi vì có người ta muốn làm, người ta cũng không làm được vì người ta sốt ruột. Sơn mài này là sốt ruột là không làm được.
With sophisticated techniques, a complicated process, a variety of materials, and the skillful hands of artisans, the art of lacquer brings us numerous magical layers of colors.
You're watching another edition of Culture Mosaic, coming to you from Hanoi, the historic cultural centre of Vietnam. Each week our show highlights the rich cultural diversity of the nation. Culture Mosaic provides viewers around the world with a unique opportunity to see the everyday life in Vietnam, its people and their customs. So stay tuned. Artists from Opera Australia wowed the local audience with their performance at the Hanoi Opera House last weekend. This was their debut show in Vietnam and featured 27 artists performing Puccini's classic opera, La Bohème. In this week's edition of On the Mic, our reporter Diệu Anh sat down with two leading actors of the troupe to chat about their first performance in Vietnam.
Hi, Natalie and Jimin Park. Thank you so much for taking your time joining our program today. So you guys are among the leading roles of the La Bohème, the most frequently performed opera in the world. So how hard have you worked to prepare for this?
Playing Mimi has always been a dream of mine when I was studying in college, and when I started my career it was the very first role that I did to begin my career. So there was a lot of work to go into preparing for this role, and I'd been preparing it for years. A lot of musical preparation, language preparation, singing obviously. It's been a great workshop.
So being an opera artist requires both singing and acting skills. So how can one coordinate both these techniques?
I think when you listen to the music always gives you the emotion. When you're singing in the music the way the composer wants, he, in his instruction, in his little details, he gives you the cues of how you want to sing, how you want to emote those lines. So it makes it very easy for you to act out and portray these characters simply by the way the music is or the language is used.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with her?
Sometimes, we're gonna speak on stage with our vocal cords, but with more kind of breath and a little bit powerful muscle work. and then make that classical sound without any microphone. And during the movement, make this sound is more hard work. But we have to be more natural to movement on stage. That kind of technique.
Yeah. So what is the toughest challenge for your role in the play?
One of the toughest challenges for me is not to get too emotionally involved in the character. Because I know what Mimi's fate is. I know that she's going to get ill and she's not going to make it through the opera. If I think too much about that, I will cry the entire opera while I'm singing, instead of making the audience cry. I have to completely shut out and pretend that I don't know anything and separate myself, Natalie, from the character Mimi. So although I'm giving all my emotions, 150% of my emotions I'm giving to the audience, I still have to separate myself from the inevitability of my character.
Do you have the same challenge?
Yeah, so when I did the first La Boheme at Covent Garden, my Mimi was a 40 years old lady, but I was 27 years old boy. But I'm just, falling in love, during that period, productions. After the whole show, I just knocked her dressing room. Please, I want to date with you, because I'm just really falling in love. But now, as
not
she
gonna
said,
happen
yeah,
with Natalie, right?
no, it's like a professional way. She's more professional than me, so.
La Boheme tells the story of young bohemians living in Paris in the 1940s. This version of the classic opera made a particular impression thanks to the use of high-tech stage installation and the young and dynamic cast.
The new ingredients are, for example, we have video projection that serve as a backdrop that gives us an idea of the setting of Paris and of the period. And the other ingredient is that it's a very young and youthful cast.
Through a catchy and well-known score, La Boheme took audiences back to the first experience of being in love. The story is about friendship, love, and inevitable challenges in life.
I've tried to pare down the production so that the focus is on the performers and that they can create really intimate and sincere and genuine acting performances.
The audiences were fascinated by the music and the inspiring performances of artists from Opera Australia. Through the world-renowned opera, the Australian artists also sent a message about life to local audiences.
It's a piece actually about life and about our life. And the people are real. And so that's something which gives it a relevance always. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's so often performed.
This is the first time a full-length opera has been performed at the Hanoi Opera House as part of the Hennessy concert series.
Cái ấn tượng là một sự hoàn hảo giữa giọng hát, giữa những cái sự diễn xuất của các nghệ sĩ trong chương trình biểu diễn ngày hôm nay, và không còn gì để có thể tả nổi cái sự thích thú của mình nữa.
And what kind of new ingredients have you added to the opera this time in Vietnam?
I mean, the music is always the same. We have the same music, but we always change. As we grow as artists, we always change and we develop as humans. And when we develop as humans, our characters also add new things to them. When we learn, when we take steps forward in our career, I think our characters that we portray also grow. We also learn new things about ourselves and in them.
Every moment is different. Not all the time is the same. But maybe director wants see more painful moment. But if we can't feel that painful moment, we can do like that way. That kind of situation is all the time on stage. So we have to believe my partner, we have to trust what is that feeling and then show it's going well.
So what message does the play deliver?
One of the greatest messages of Bohem is that we all have a dream. We all dream of love. We all dream of peace, prosperity. And I think it shows that even through adversity, even through tragedy, your dream can still come true. We see just how people, even in such a poor state, are still so passionate and they're still so happy, even though they have nothing. But to them, they're still very content because they feel like they have everything.
This opera describes kind of what is a young guy's love story. That's our job, to make remember or how to keep going this love. The most important thing is, that love, feeling what is love.
This is your first time to Vietnam, so what are your impressions about the country and how do you think about the reception of the Vietnamese people?
I found the Vietnamese people to be very friendly, very warm, big happy smiles, very lovely people. I came here even on the taxi ride to the hotel, just watching the architecture. It's so different to Australia. The narrow, tall buildings, so beautiful and so many intricate details in the architecture. It was just really beautiful to see. It's like I came into a different world altogether. We've only been here 2 days, but it seems like we've had such a warm reception, and I'd be more than overjoyed to be back here in Vietnam.
Once again, thank you so much for joining our program today. It's really great to have you here, and we wish you to have the best of luck in your future career.
Thank you very much. It's our pleasure.
Over the past few years, social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook and Twitter have proven effective in promoting Vietnamese culture, especially Vietnamese cuisine, to the world. Just by clicking and sifting through the hashtags like Vietnamese food and Fistagram, foreign visitors can find hundreds of pictures of Vietnamese food and street food vendors. Many travellers are impressed by these pictures and see Vietnam as a must-visit destination. Our Connecting Culture segment this week will tell you more.
Type in the keyword Vietnamese food. Over 500,000 photos become available on screen. A diverse variety of Vietnamese food is spread all over the monitor. Social media, especially Instagram, has somehow created a showbook of Vietnamese cuisine. Those are just few comments from Instagram users all around the world when they check out photos on Vietnamese foods. Normally, it's difficult for foreigners to remember the names of these Vietnamese foods due to differences in language. However, they will be more eye-catching and easy to remember when attached to these photos and videos. Đặng Thảo Anh has been working as a food photographer for Foodie, an online Vietnamese channel that promotes Vietnamese food via social media. Her job is creating clips that introduce interesting street vendors in the city and posting them on Instagram, where the page 106,000 followers can feast their eyes on her culinary finds.
Sử dụng hình ảnh bằng video thì hầu hết tất cả mọi người đều có thể hiểu được và cũng mang được những cái thông điệp đến cho tất cả mọi người, không cần thiết là phải đọc và kiểu tìm kiếm quá nhiều, mà chỉ cần coi video thì nó rất nhanh chóng và gần gũi.
The Instagram page is not only popular among locals but also with many expats. Philippine, a French software engineer who has lived in Hanoi for 9 years, still struggled when he wanted to find a place to eat in a city. Things have changed since he discovered foodie on Instagram.
We can follow the recommendation on the website. You can see what people comment, what people rate, how people rate the restaurants and the food. So if you choose wisely and you choose the best, you are not disappointed when you get to the restaurants. They really promote the food very well. They make it look delicious, and when I'm browsing the website or on my application and I see a nice picture, it makes me hungry, so it means the job is done.
Not only Vietnamese, but many expat bloggers also write about Vietnamese food on their own Instagram channels. Travel blogger from Poland, Katarzyna, is one of those foreigners. She spends a major part of her Instagram account just posting pictures of Vietnamese food. She said she loved Vietnamese food the first time she tasted it, and she just wants to share that love with friends back home.
I have a lot of friends that follow the blog. A lot of them cook the food that I put there, and they say it's very tasty. Some of my friends really seeing the blog got interested in the food, and when they were making their holiday decisions, I think they came here to Vietnam because of this, because they wanted to try how it tastes here.
According to the latest platform statistic, Instagram has 300 million active monthly users. Thảo Anh, Katarzyna, and Philippines are just 3 of that huge number of Instagram users. It cannot be denied that social media has helped connect these people of different nationalities who share the same interest in Vietnamese cuisine and has promoted Vietnamese culture to the world at the same time.
And Connecting Culture segment has wrapped up Culture Mosaic this week. Please feel free to contact us at culturemosaic@vtv.vn with any comments and suggestions you may have, or to tell us about any cultural events you've been to and upload your own videos as well. You can watch repeats of our programmes online at vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to join us next week. Goodbye for now.